Dev Briefing 198 Mortain updates. Hello everyone, my name is BurningWiki and welcome to my channel. And the Hell Let Loose development team has been hard at work since Mortain was tested on the test server only a week ago. And they write, hello everyone, welcome to our Mortain focused dev brief highlighting various changes and implementations. Thanks to your feedback. Mortain is a new map to Warfare, Offensive and Skirmish mode. This map is based on the US defense of the French town of Mortain, which sits in the shallow valley where the US rallied against the German troops amid Operation Lilith. The battle took place in August of 1944 in Normandy, France, and they continue. Entering buildings. So yes, many of the buildings of the new map, you could not enter them, which is, yeah, I don't like it. Right, that you cannot enter all of them, I understand, but most buildings you should go in there because you can have some nice close combat fights in those buildings, right? And they addressed this problem because they write, we acknowledge that players generally really enjoyed the urban combat that Mortain had to offer. Still, one consistent piece of feedback we received is that it was disappointing how few buildings were enterable by the player. In truth, this is a concern we had about the map for a while, but due to the amount of new content required for Mortain and the significant amount of work required to retrofit old interiors with our refreshed buildings, we decided to create a singular variation of an enterable building that could be reused across the map. Upon reflection, however, we understand that more enterable buildings are a priority for the players. I'm happy to say that we have successfully created 3 more variations of enterable buildings and have begun their rollout in Mortain. In real terms, due to the number of reusable assets we utilize within Hell Let Loose maps, this means up to 63 buildings already placed in Mortain could be potentially be accessible across the map with possibility of more to come. And this is great because, again, the close combat situations and taking a building and holding on to that building at a strategic location is what makes Hell Let Loose. It gives it, you know, these moments that make the game worthwhile playing, right? It gives you an adrenaline rush when you're with 2 or 3 other guys holding a building against a overwhelming enemy force. It really is enjoyable. I hope they're gonna fix the issue with the ammo crate that you cannot place in any of the buildings, because that is a bit annoying. I still think the houses are way too clean. They look way too clinical. I hope they address that in the future. Like, look at the roof. And this side is just, I don't know. It bothers me that there is no crossbeam here and that the roof is not overhanging a little bit. But, you know, that may just be me. It looks good though. I see new rubble over here. That looks good too. The streets look way too clean. Way too clean. Way too clean. And this looks better. Way better. The town environment, as with any PTE, members of the development team jumped into Mortain to experience firsthand how players were feeling as it went live. And one piece of consistent feedback we heard was that the town, and in particular the buildings, felt too clean, here we go, and lacked immersion. That is what I was saying in my last video. Admittedly, with Mortain being the first map constructed by Expression Games, optimizing old assets and applying memory-saving shaders was our priority. We wanted to tackle performance issues seen across other maps, and although we researched to make sure textures and materials were dated correctly for the period and location, we missed the mark on creating a town that feels engaging and at war. And this was what I was discussing in my last video. It felt all way too clean and way too clinical, like a hospital room. And I'm glad they are addressing this issue. Now that we are confident that our optimized work has been effective, we look forward to polishing visual aesthetics of the town to be more in line of an active battlefield. For us, that will include reworking textures to look old and grimy. Smaller variations of rubble will be implemented to complement our existing piles, and VFX paths will be done, as well as other ways we are looking to add polish and immersion, and this is really good. Now, this is what it should be looking, right? If there is a destroyed building here, there should be rubble right next to it. And the amount of rubble should, in my mind, make up this whole building, right? Else it makes no sense at all. And that was not the case on the PTE server. And I mentioned this in my other video, and I'm sure glad they are addressing this right now. This looks really good with the piles of rubble. Also, this gives players more hiding spots and to take cover from enemy fire, right? And yeah, it looks really, really good. This is what I'm talking about with the broken truck. That looks really, really good. Collegiale Saint Evroul and Le Petit Chapelle Saint Michael. And I probably totally raped these names, but there we go, I'm not French. Besides Anthropo buildings, further feedback we received is that players were disappointed that both the Collegiale Saint Evroul and Le Petit Chapelle Saint Michael are unenterable. And by that they mean the big church, right? The church should be the center of the fights, and it should be totally enterable. And I don't care if it was not the case in war. It should be the center of the battle, because that would be very, very nice. We completely understand the community's frustration with the decision to have them closed off, and so I'd like to give a brief explanation of why this was the case. Collegiale Saint Evroul, the large church within Mortain town, is an historical accurate building that remained largely untouched during the conflict, but I should start by saying that we agree that it really should be open. Then open it. It's that simple. Open it, make it the capture point, right? And so you have a big battle going around the church, and then the engineers can close it off, like on the other map, right? Saint Marie, Le Petit Chapelle, Saint Michael, and they mean the small church, of course. Much like the... I'm not gonna pronounce it. Le Petit Chapelle is a historical accurate building that would require a bespoke interior mesh, and although it could be feasible to open the chapelle in time, we feel getting the town to look good place is our greatest priority, and so this also won't be available on the release of Mortain. That makes me sad. I understand that, you know, you got some choices to make. It's all about budget and time, right? Manpower, and yeah, if you cannot do it, you cannot do it, right? I totally understand that. I'm just a bit disappointing. We received lots of positive comments about the elevation and the uniqueness of the Petite Chapelle capture point, and the current consensus is that it is well balanced from the gameplay perspective, so any decision to open it would have been carefully considered, but again, this is not out of the question further down the line. Foliage draw distance. The positive reception to Mortain's luscious new foliage has been overwhelming, although we acknowledge that there were some teething problems. To ensure the map ran smoothly during testing, we overcompensated by culling grass, trees and crops early than we needed to. Given that the performance on Mortain wooded areas is good, we confidently that we can push the distance at the foliage goals further away, and by that means it renders, right? So there should be less advantage for snipers and players with keen eyes, or players with 4K extra wide screens, right, and good graphics cards. However, we cannot guarantee that the foliage will always keep you hidden from several hundred meters away, as we need to ensure that the map still runs smoothly, and that comes at a great cost. Despite this, we hope that the next time you play Mortain, there is a noticeable difference when observing foliage at a distance, and at a minimum, it maintains consistency with other Hell Let Loose maps in terms of rendering distance. And that was about it, and I'm looking forward to playing Mortain, the final product, but I feel like there's still a lot of work to do. I would love to see connecting houses with holes in the wall so you can go from one house to the other. I would love to see people climbing up these ruined buildings, and I hope the dev team implements a lot of nice new things, more trenches, more sandbags and areas to hide, and I'm looking forward to playing this map. It will be a nice addition to Hell Let Loose. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. What should they add? What should they remove? And give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And I will see you all next time.